May the 13th, 2012. It's Sunday, and I thank you for tuning in. I'm doing a series covering brief forms for court reporters, also for magazine uh, publishing employees who are journalists who sit in courtrooms and who have to take dictation in shorthand, and for anyone inside the court and outside the court that may ever come across these phrases and they have to take this dictation down. I'm trying to show them and teach the student, those who desire to learn such, how to write these phrases in brief form. Okay, let's look at this one. This is one that's uttered in the courtroom quite often. Your Honor, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench. A while ago, we looked at may the attorney or the defendant approach the bench. But here, we're looking at Your Honor, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench. Well, let's see how we can write this out in regular shorthand. And then let's look at the brief form. The brief form, if you remember when I first started teaching shorthand on some of the earlier videos, I kept bringing it up time and time again to those who decided to become students to learn shorthand and use these videos as an aid. I kept magnifying over and over how our ultimate goal was to get to brief forms and learn as many brief forms as we could, because that is what differentiates the skill and ability and the talent of one stenographer over another, is who can write down the most words the fastest that are legible and right in the shorthand, talent, in the shorthand skill, or the skill of shorthand, Gregg Shorthand that is, and do the job more proficient and more speedily, and that way not lose out on some of the words that are being uttered. Okay. Your Honor, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench. Or let's look at this one first. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. Okay. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. And the reason why I put out a little bitty X there is because in Gregg Shorthand, the X equals the question mark in Gregg Shorthand. Okay? Now, let's look at this. And I'll write this on lines here. May, M-A-D-T-H, prosecuting, P-R-O-S-E, the E's closed up a little bit, S-E-K-E-U-T-I-N-G, because this is under the last alphabet, the little dot. May the prosecuting, P-R-O-S-E-K-E-U-T-I-N-G, attorney, A-T-E-N-E, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. Okay, let me write that on red lines, and then I'm going to show you the brief form for such. Because, now I could have wrote that out a whole lot quicker on pen and ink. But once again, it has to be wrote out larger, and I had to take more time in doing it for your benefit so that you can see it. But you could sit home with pen and ink and write it out on your tablet. Okay? Okay. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. Okay. May the prosecuting, I'm trying to write a little slower to get it more legible for you, attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. And of course that stands for your question mark, the little X, okay? May, M-A, the prosecuting, P-R-O-S-E-K-E-U-T-I-N-G, attorney, A-T-E-N-E. Now, I know that doesn't really sound, that kind of almost seems like we're breaking the rule of shorthand because we write by sound according to shorthand. A-T-E-N-E does not sound like attorney. I had trouble with that when I first started learning shorthand because attorney seems like it would be A-T-U-R-N-E. It seems like that would be attorney. But in Gregg Shorthand, and this is something that I have never learned why, the word turn, T-U-R-N, instead of T-U-R-N, which you could write it that way if you wanted, they write it T-E-N, like that. They write it T-E-N. And that takes on the word of turn. That is the word turn in shorthand is actually T-E-N. I'm not 100% sure why they chose it to get the sound of that word turn that way. Just like I've never figured out in our English language, like the word enough, E-N-O-U-G-H, that seems like that would be eno instead of enough, E-N-U-F. Like, and this is the way we spell it in Gregg Shorthand, E-N-U-F, E-N-U-F. So there are some idiosyncrasies, sometimes even in Gregg Shorthand. And that's one word, it seems like it breaks the rule of writing everything you hear by sound instead of the way in equality that we would compare it to or write it the same as we would in our regular English language. May the prosecuting attorney, A-T-E-N-E, attorney, approach, A-P-R-O-C-H, the bench, B-N-C-H, your honor, O-N-R. Okay. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. Look at all that. Now, they're moving along in the courtroom, and when you hear that, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. Here's how I would write that. P, that's it. The P is going to tell me that stands for the prosecuting attorney, not the defendant. BN has something to do with the bench. And your honor being put at the end of this brief form, that means that sentence that I'm writing in a brief form ends with your honor. Okay? May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. So you see, you can actually write that quicker than what you can utter it. Let me put it on red lines. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. You know, I would like to think that there are some stenographer students who took Gregg Shorthand. And by the way, if some of you think that I'm getting these brief forms out of another book I read or checked out, you're wrong. I have not gotten any of these brief forms here that I'm showing you and sharing with you out of any other book. These are brief forms that I have just been blessed with and infused with and adopted as brief forms that I think will not only benefit me, but others also in the field of court reporting or journalism. And that's why I hope to publish a book also for those who cannot see these videos in days to come. You'll have all this at your fingertips in books, and if you can study it from a little book that maybe you can carry around in your pocket, it won't be a big book, but you'll have all these brief forms, and it'll make you a little bit quicker than other court reporters. Okay. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. May the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, your honor. So you see how quick that is. I'm just making a P, and that's letting me know I'm dealing with the prosecuting attorney, and B in your honor. The reason why I'm making this B so far over here, because B is normally from the top of the line, top to bottom. And I could have wrote it like this. may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. I could have came below the line here, but instead I stretched it out so I'll know and others will know that that's a B. Okay, so you see how quick that is? Instead of writing all that other out, I've just simply chose some alphabets that represent certain words in that sentence. And if I'm a court reporter, I'm going to know what that brief form stands for, especially if I have exercised and educated my mind for that. Just like in regular shorthand, instead of manufacture, we write just MF for manufacture. Manufactured, MFD. Instead of medical, doctor, DOKTR, we just write MD. We just write MD. I wrote it a little crooked like this, but it's MD. I don't know if that's much more straighter. Same way with railroad. Instead of RALROD, instead of railroad, we just write RR in Gregg Shorthand. Well, it's the same way with some of these court phrases here. You know, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. And so we put the U, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. I'll put Your Honor last because that's what falls at the end. But suppose it was Your Honor, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench. Well, if it started out with Your Honor, I'd put Your Honor, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench. Okay? Your Honor, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench. That is you, Your Honor, UH, and then put the P and the B. But up here we got the P and the bench and Your Honor at the last. Some might say, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench, Your Honor. But up here, Your Honor, may the prosecuting attorney approach the bench. Okay? Thank you for tuning in, and it is May the 13th, 2012 on Sunday.